taking a gap year before starting university. I'd managed to get a job working for the US Air Force at an airbase in the UK. At about 2 a.m. on this particular night in early 1988, the runway lights that are normally off came on briefly, for perhaps 30 seconds, then went off. That's when I heard something clearly landing on the runway, and off to the right of the runway, one of the larger hangars opened its doors. In the pitch black, the light from that hangar was quite spectacular. That's when I saw it. A small black triangular aircraft rolled straight into that hangar, and within seconds the doors closed behind it. My honest thought when I saw that was, I was definitely not supposed to have seen that. I put my smoke out and walked back into my building. A few weeks later, we got our first pictures of the F-117 Nighthawk, followed by confirmation that it existed. I smiled a little and thought to myself, already knew about that. 2. As a middle schooler, I picked up a book at the library, flipped through the pages, and found an application for a replacement birth certificate for some old man. It had every detail about his personal identification on it, so naturally, I took it home thinking, I'll just hold on to this in case I ever need to assume a fake identity by pretending to be an 80-year-old man and flee the country. My mom found it and had to explain to me that no, we don't steal people's identities. 3. I was working part-time at a library for a school subject. One day, they made me enter the data for new books into the library's computer system. As I worked, I did something, don't know what, that made Windows Outlook display onto the PC screen, along with some emails from the librarian's director to my teacher and to the other librarians. The emails basically said that I was really good at my job and very hardworking, and that the collaboration would be very beneficial both for me and them. I wasn't supposed to read those messages, but they made me feel really happy. 4. When I started a new job, someone had left a bunch of HR files on the computer I was given. I opened one up, not sure what it was, and I got to see every employee's salary in the company, even the CEO's. The next day, it was gone. My boss realized his mistake and logged into my system to delete the files. It was a memorable experience. 5. Went to visit Grandma and Grandpa. The front door was locked, so I went around through the back and found them gardening, totally unclothed. 6. Freshman year of college, I walked into the kitchen area late at night and there was my girlfriend sitting on the counter, making out with one of my good friends. I just left quietly without them noticing and cut off all contact with both of them. So, pretty sure I wasn't supposed to see that. 7. When I was 14, a friend hosted a birthday party at his house with all the parents invited. I needed to use the restroom, but the main one was occupied, so my friend told me I could use the one in his mom's bedroom. As I walked up to the door, I could hear somebody in there, so I decided to wait until whoever was in there was finished. A good 10 minutes later, my friend's mom, who was hosting the party, and another good friend's stepfather walked out and saw me standing there, confused. They asked what I was doing there, and I just said I was waiting to use the bathroom. Surprisingly, they played it cool and just said I could use it now, then walked off. 8. I was about 8 or 9, and my parents were going to be out of town, so they had me and my siblings stay with a family from our church. Once we got to the house, which was really nice, they had one rule: you can play wherever you want, but the basement is off limits. Me, being the little menace that I was, snuck down their first chance I got and was supremely disappointed to only find rows and rows of plants growing under lights. 9. When I was about 5, my mom took me to the bank because she needed something out of the safety deposit box. It was right when they were opening up. They asked us to turn around while they unlocked the vault, but I peeked. According to family lore, I went around the rest of the day chanting the numbers of the combination. 10. Growing up with my little brother and single mom, we never had a lot, but she made sure we always had a safe and decent place to live, and there was always food on the table. She never really ate much. I remember dinners of baked chicken, beef stew, salmon, etc. Nothing terribly extravagant, but always nutritious, yet she barely ever ate. When I was 10, I saw her eating peanut butter and jelly on crackers in her room after dinner. That's when I realized there was never enough food for all three of us. She would cook what we had for my brother and me, and she would eat the bare minimum, always out of sight, so that my brother and I wouldn't worry about the actual level of poverty we were at. I never asked for another material thing from her after that night.